welcome back to Atreyu Crochet. So in today's video I'm going to be showing you this very easy, really cool, pretty quick scarf pattern that I came up with on the fly. I really think you're gonna like it, so let's get to it. Things you will need include some yarn. This is a medium 4 yarn. If I can find a link to this, I will leave it in the description box. It's by I love this yarn, by the way. A pair of scissors, a darning, weaving, tapestry needle. This is a medium 4 yarn, but I'm going to use a slightly larger hook than is usually prescribed for medium 4, and that's a J6mm US crochet hook. Let's start. So you'll grab your yarn, you'll wrap it over and around your finger like that, twist, exchange. Now we're going to pull the yarn over our finger in that direction, pull this one over that one and off your finger while lifting up, okay? And then insert your crochet hook and pull to close the loop or to tighten it. Alright, we just made a slip knot. Congratulations. So you need to chain an even number of stitches. Okay, so for me that will be 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Okay, so I have my 16 chains. Alright, so now I'm going to put a single crochet in the second chain from the hook. Okay, so here's the hook. This is the loop on the hook. This is the first chain from the hook. This is the second chain from the hook. It has that little pink on it. So I'm going to enter there into the second chain. And because I'm making a single crochet, I will not yarn over first. I'll just enter the chain like that. Now I'll yarn over. I'll pull through to the front. Now I have 2 loops on my crochet hook. 1, 2. I'll yarn over and I'll go through both loops. Go through 2. 1 and 2. I'm going to put 1 single crochet in every single chain or stitch across. Okay, so find the next chain. Well, let's look. The single crochet is in that chain, okay, with the little pink on it. That means this is the next chain. So that's where I'm going to enter. And I'm going to do so without yarning over because it's a single crochet. So enter the chain, yarn over, pull through to the front for 2 loops. 1, 2. Yarn over, go through 1 and 2. Okay, so continue putting 1 single crochet in every chain across, and I'll see you on the other side. See you soon. As you can see, I've put a single crochet in every chain across. I've made it to the other end. I have a total of 15 single crochets. Why 15? If I crocheted 16 chains, well, remember I skipped that very first one at the beginning. Okay, I crocheted into the second chain, and so therefore I crocheted 15 single crochets. Row 2, we're going to chain 1. Okay, this is how we're going to start every row. You're going to turn your work, and we're going to yarn over because we're making a double crochet now, and in to that first stitch, the stitch that that chain 1 is coming out of, right there, there's the top. We're going to make a double crochet. So yarn over, slice the icing off the top of the cake, yarn over, pull through to the front for 3 loops. 1, 2, 3. We'll yarn over and go through 2. 1, 2, and we'll yarn over and go through 2. 1, 2. Okay, so you see that very first single crochet, okay, or the last single crochet of row 1, that's where we put the double crochet. Now we're going to chain 1 and we're going to skip 1. So we chain 1, we're skipping 1, and in that third single crochet over, that's where we're going to put the next double crochet. So yarn over, skip 1, go into that one, slice the icing off the top of the cake, yarn over, pull through to the front for 3 loops, yarn over, go through 2, 1, 2, yarn over, go through 2, 1, 2. Okay, and we're going to do this across. Continuing across, chain 1, skip 1, and then the next one thereafter, put a double crochet. So yarn over and put a double crochet. Okay, chain 1, we're going to skip 1, and in that one right there, that's where we're going to put a double crochet. One more time, I'll show you. Chain 1, skip 1, and in that one, that's where we're going to put a double crochet. chain one, skip one, and the one thereafter, that's where we'll make a double crochet. Chain one, skip one, and the one thereafter, make your double crochet. Chain one, skip one, and in that final single crochet, we'll make a double crochet. And that's what you have. Isn't she a beaut? So, moving on to row 3. Remember, you start every row the same, so we'll chain one. Okay? Turn our work. And in this first same stitch that chain one is coming out of, we're going to put a double crochet. Like that. Okay? Now we're going to crochet the puff stitch into the chain one spaces. So right there, that's a chain one space, that's one, that's one, that's one, that's one. Okay? So we're going to put a puff stitch in each of those spaces. This is how you do it. Yarn over. Go into the chain one space, yarn over, pull through to the front for one. Yarn over. Go into the chain one space, yarn over, pull through to the front for two. Yarn over. Go into the chain one space, yarn over, pull through to the front for 3. Okay? Now that we've done that, you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 loops on your crochet hook. At that point, we will yarn over and go through all of those loops. All 7, did I say? I think, yeah. Alright, and now we'll chain 1. Alright, so that's the puff stitch. Now we'll find the next chain one space, which is there, and we will repeat. So yarn over, enter the chain one space, yarn over, pull through to the front for 1. Yarn over, enter the chain one space, yarn over, pull through to the front for 2. Yarn over, enter the chain one space, yarn over, pull through to the front for 3. Once again, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. At that point, you'll yarn over, turn your hook, angle it that way so you can go through all the loops easily and go through like that. And now chain 1. Okay? Show you one more time. Yarn over. Find the next chain one space that's there. Yarn over, pull through to the front. You see I have 3 loops on my crochet hook. I'll yarn over. Now I have 4. I enter the chain one space, yarn over, pull through to the front. Now I have 5 loops. Yarn over. Now I have 6 loops. Yarn over. So yarn over, enter the chain one space, yarn over, pull through to the front. And that's how you get 7 loops on your crochet hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yarn over and go through everything. Chain 1. Okay? So keep repeating that all the way to the end, and I'll meet you there. Alright, so I've made the puff stitch into that final chain one space, and so on the end, I'm just going to put a double crochet. So I'm going to chain 1, yarn over, and then find the top on the end like that. I don't know why it's been getting blurry. Alright, I think you can see. Yeah. Yarn over, pull through to the front for 3 loops, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Okay? And that completes the row. Sorry to tell you, but we're just repeating row 2 and row 3. So we have nothing else to memorize. So, what do we do in row 2? Okay, we chained 1, we turned our work, and then we put a double crochet in that same stitch that chain 1 is coming out of, right? With that pink on it. So yarn over, slice the icing off the top of the cake and make a double crochet. Alright, and now I'm going to chain 1. And this time, and you'll be able to see where to go, but in between the puff stitches, that's where we're going to put the double crochets. And you'll see because they will line up with the double crochets in row 2. Okay, so in between these puff stitches, that's where we're going to enter and make our double crochet. So enter there and make your double crochet like that. Chain 1. Find the next place. You can look here and then go up, or you can just find the 2 puff stitches and open it and say, oh yeah, it's there. Alright, chain 1, yarn over, enter in there. Chain 1, right there. So you can tell that this row goes really fast. Chain 1, double crochet goes there. And it'll kind of make up for when you're kind of slow down just a little bit during the puff stitch row. Okay. Alright. Chain 1. And then you might think, okay, do I put something there? Well, you're at the end. And remember, if you need a reference, just look at the last row that you did like this. Looking at this one, I only need one more, right? So that means I'm going to crochet that final double crochet in the final stitch. So yarn over. It helps to turn your work so you can see the top. Okay. There it is. Okay, so that's where I'm going to enter. So I yarn over, slice the icing off the top of the cake of the last stitch. Yarn over, pull through to the front for 3 loops. Yarn over, go through 2. Yarn over, go through 2. Okay. And now you know exactly what to do. It's time to go back to the puff stitch row. So, as with every row, chain 1, turn your work, yarn over, and put a double crochet into that same first stitch, the last double crochet of the previous row. And now we start puffing. So yarn over, enter, yarn over, bring to the front, yarn over, enter, yarn over, bring to the front, yarn over, enter, yarn over, bring to the front. That's the third time. I have 7 loops. Yarn over, go through everything. Chain 1. In between the next set of double crochets, yarn over, enter, 1, 2, 3. Chain 1. So you can see when you get used to this, it goes really fast. 3. Chain 1. Okay? So continue repeating, alternating between the row here, row 2 type, and the row 3 type. So I repeated the row 2 type, and now I'm on the row 3 type. Continue doing that. I'm going to work on this, get some length, and I'll check back in so we can finish up this video. Have fun, you guys. Alright, you guys, so I got some pretty good length. I'm almost done, but I want to check back in just to make sure you guys really have it. So I just finished the row where I do the double crochet, chain 1. Okay, so now I'm at the end, I'm chaining 1. I'm going to turn my work. This, okay? Now I'm going to put a double crochet into that double crochet. So yarn over, slice the icing off the top of the cake like that, and make your double crochet. Remember, if you're wondering where to put the puff stitches, just line it up. So there's a puff stitch there, that means 1 goes here. There's a puff stitch there, that means 1 goes there. Okay, so just go in, 2, 3, and there's your puff stitch. Chain 1. 1, 2, 3, chain 1. 1, 2, 3, and then go through, chain 1. And so you see, guys, once you get a rhythm, you'll see why this scarf can be completed within 1 to 2 hours, okay? Obviously, it always depends on how wide and how long you're making it, but yeah. I know a lot of you say, oh, I couldn't complete it in the time you said. Well, maybe you don't have as much experience crocheting and you don't crochet as fast as I do, but once you get experience, then you will be able to. And maybe you already have experience. Maybe you have more experience than I have crocheting, but you made it wider, or, you know. The time is not important. It's just a reference, okay? So don't get so focused. Don't be so focused on that, okay? The important thing is that you learn how to do it, and you make it, and you end up with something beautiful. Alright, so I have my final puff stitch. How do I know it's my final one? If I look down here, there's no puff over here, right? And I'm at the end. So it's kind of like, yeah. So I wanted to say, try to find, I told you rotate the top to find the top of the stitch. You don't need to be super precise, okay? So it's okay if you don't exactly get that top, just somewhere in the corner, okay? So I'm going to make a double crochet because I'm on the end. So I found the top successfully, and I'm sure you can as well. And just make a double crochet. Chain 1, and now turn your work. And now it's time for the next row, the row we did before this one, the one where you do the double crochet and chain 1, okay? So I chained 1. In that same first stitch, I'm going to put the double crochet. Remember, that's how I start every row. And then I was thinking while I was crocheting, because I always try to think about these things from your perspective, and I try to think about things you may have questions about while I'm actually crocheting through it. I was thinking, you know, I told you to put the double crochet in between the puff stitches. Some of you may wonder, well, what about there? There's a puff stitch. Well, the answer is no, and here's why. in between the puff stitches. There's no puff stitch over here. This is a double crochet, so that would not be a place where to put the double crochet. Also, we have a double crochet there, right? So we don't need to put one there. That's just a way for you to remember that, hey, no, there's already one there. Alright, so now that I've made the double crochet, I chain one, and in between these puff stitches, that's where I put the double crochet. Like that. So I'm almost done with the skein. I'm just going to continue on and so that I can actually finish the skein and not have any left over. I just want to check back in to show you those things. We're going to end with a row of single crochet so that it matches the way we started, FYI. So I'll check back in once I get to that point. By the way, on this end, remember, the double crochet goes in the end. So try to find the end stitch. It helps to rotate, find the top. Okay, I see that loop and I see that one. Okay, there's the top. But if you can't find it, as long as you get something that looks like it's the corner, that's sufficient. Okay, you don't need to be legalistic about it. Just make sure it makes a nice, squared off corner. Alright, I'll check back in later. So it's time for that row of single crochet. I've chained one. Okay, I'm going to turn my work. And by the way, I'm putting the single crochet, the row of single crochet right after the row where I do the double crochet chain one, double crochet chain one. Okay, that's how I started. That's how I'm ending it. Alright, so in that same first stitch where that chain one is coming out of, I'm going to put a single crochet. And now in the chain one space, I'm going to put a single crochet. So put one single crochet in every stitch across, whether it's the double crochet or the chain one space. And then it will match the way we started. You can see it goes really fast. By the way, if you're wondering, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I'm guessing 15 stitches, 11, 12, 13, 14 in the chain one space, the 14th is in the chain one space, and then on the end, that's 15. How did I know 15? Because that's what I started with. And you want to maintain the same number of stitches all throughout, or your scarf is going to either spread or it's going to get narrow. So that's a good final check that you have actually maintained the appropriate number of stitches. Alright, so now I'm going to chain one, and I'm going to cut what little yarn I have left. I don't have much, but I'll cut it on camera just so you can see. Leave enough so you can easily weave it in. Okay, and then fasten off like that. Take your darning weaving tapestry needle, okay, and feed the yarn through the eye of the needle. If you have any problems, just kind of twist the end to get it together, bunch it together like that. And now we're just going to go through some stitches, first going in one direction, okay, pulling through, and then taking a slightly different path, going back in the opposite direction. This kind of locks and secures the yarn in place. Okay, I like to come out the side. It's just my preference. You can do it however you want, and you can weave the yarn in how many ever times you want until you feel like it's secure. Alright, just kind of pull it so it's not distorted from weaving, and then cut your yarn without cutting your work, obviously. Alright, I'm going to weave in this tail at the beginning, and then I'll show you the finished product. Alright, you guys, so here you have it. This is the finished product. It's beautiful scarf, and it was so easy to crochet. It really does crochet up quickly. I love the yarn that I used. It has a stretchiness to it, and then I think also just in light of the pattern, that kind of adds to the stretchiness of it as well. It's very, I don't know, it has a lot of texture, I'll say. So it's going to feel really good. And yeah, because it crochets up quickly, you still have time to make this before the holidays. Okay, so that is going to be it for this video, but I will see you in the next one. In the meantime, happy crocheting.